Right then, first let's get our bearings. We're up on the left-hand abutment, looking towards the camera. In the far distance, across the gorge, is a prestigious block of flats, Bridge House. But the building started life as a hotel, described as delightfully situated on the downs, commanding views of the most romantic scenery. It obtains the entire approbation of its visitors, not more for the beauty of the situation than for the attention and good management of the proprietors. And leading down from the hotel, different styles of houses, but with a pleasing rhythm and great views of the bridge. At number 5, a celebrated sculptor once lived. She must have impressed David Bowie with her work. He bought a bird-shaped door knocker that she had crafted. This stereo card must be earlier than 1862 because work hasn't restarted on the bridge. The pump room was built on an awkward peninsula of land that boats had to steer around, so was demolished in 1868 to improve navigation. The hot spring was diverted to a grotto in the cliff face. 200 years ago, the only way to get to the pump room was via the steep zigzag path from Clifton. Thankfully, it had a wider pavement at the bottom then, or along a tree-lined promenade here in front of St. Vincent's Parade. The rock house and colonnade are all that remain of the once fashionable spa. Built in 1786, the colonnade was designed with shops below and living quarters above. And 100 years later, Clifton Spa Pump Room in Prince's Lane was an attempt to revive the spa. Fed by a deep borehole to the hot wells 70 metres below, it functioned until 1922, but is now abandoned. And look, we get a tantalising glimpse of one of Clifton's most alluring crescents. 14 houses with unusual double-bowed doors, convex and concave. And at the rear, or is it the front, we can see that this sunny elevation enjoys spectacular views to the south. This end of the gorge once offered a real mix of options for travellers. First, the Bristol Port Railway was laid to Avonmouth in 1865, and its Hot Wells terminus was down there in the trees, beyond the road. And another railway, this time a funicular, inside the cliff, linking Clifton to Hot Wells and the harbour. A tunnel cuts through the limestone cliffs to the upper station from the lower station. Built to encourage and promote a new spa, it closed in 1934, and this Victorian marvel of engineering was repurposed during the Second World War. The lower section served as a secret emergency transmissions base for the BBC, and the main section was used as an air raid shelter. At the end of the 19th century, Bristol Tramways Company had a route for electric trams from here to the city centre. You see that sad-looking structure alongside the road? All rotting wood, looks like it's not even safe for a seagull to land on it. Sad dereliction now. But in its heyday it offered bracing sea breezes and day trips to Ilfracombe. It was the landing stage for the White Funnel fleet of pleasure paddle steamers. And for over 70 years these elegant vessels plied the waters of the Channel. They're fondly remembered. First set up in 1200, it was the only way to cross the river downstream from Bristol Bridge in medieval times. The toll was a penny, most other ferries were a halfpenny, but the higher charge paid for cleaning the slipways of mud after high tides. Just think, if Clifton families fancied a day out, they could descend in the Rocks Railway and catch a paddle steamer, or take the ferry across the river to a tiny station at the foot of Rownham Hill and catch a train to Portishead. What fun! And of course the Portway. Other cities have monotonous roads flanked by drab industrial units, linking their docks with their central areas. But not Bristol. Terrific townscape, Windsor Terrace, astride a massive raised retaining wall with the Cumberland Basin swing bridge and lock in the middle distance. A group of 10 houses with undistinguished rear elevations, but a shared front, grand and palatial. Here's a plaque honouring a past resident. In 1861, a soldier was convicted of desertion and evading court-martial. He was stripped of the medal. But his plaque remains, testimony to a brave young soldier. Can you see that tall brick chimney at the very end of the harbour? It's the Victorian hydraulic engine house which provided power to operate the swing bridges and lock gates of the Cumberland Basin. And here's the underfall yard, where Brunel changed the harbour's overfall dam into a sluice and underfall to get rid of silt. And a little ship repair yard is tucked away there. There's small-scale maritime activities going on, with a dry dock and repair sheds. It's quite atmospheric when they're working on ships' hulls. There's some vivid symbols of the importance of tobacco to Bristol's economy in the last century. 3 Grade 2 listed warehouses built just over 100 years ago. They were bonded warehouses built to hold thousands of hogsheads, barrels of imported tobacco, before import duty was paid. Now they're adapted for general storage and for offices. And the Cumberland Basin, with its bridge and elevated roads, it has served the city well, but is nearing the end of its functional life. Options for a new river crossing and road system are being discussed. And so, from our viewpoint high up on the bridge's buttress, we have seen how Bristol has developed and evolved. And long may it continue to do so.